In the UK, the illegal drug trade is controlled by a few select groups, all bickering and squabbling for control. Every day there's a shift. You have the Albanians, the Irish, the Scots, and of course Somalians and Blackburn moving large quantities of opioids across the country. Now these people form groups that are hell-bent on imposing their will on cooperative workers and anyone else who comes across their path. Whether voluntary or involuntary, it doesn't matter. These people will get their own way. Now the drug game is a cruel, cruel business. Now I say all that to say this. A gang based in Blackburn kidnapped, detained and used violence against an innocent man when he returned home from work. The victim, who's believed to be in his 40s, was confronted by Faisal Fareed, Faizaan and Nicholas Shaw in Darwen, Lancashire. The victim had actually pulled up to his house, approached his front door and was about to put his key in the lock when he was jerked backwards by the gang and thrown into a waiting car, of course into the back seat. Now the victim, as I said, was innocent. He took no part in the drug activities. All he did was go to work, pay his bills, provide for his family. But the gang mistook the victim for an Albanian drug dealer. Now once he was in the back seat, they screamed at him, "Where's the money and where's the drugs?" And then, to drive home the point, blades were produced. Now the three gang men then used the victim as a pincushion. They took out their blades and poked and stabbed multiple times, legs and chest. He was then taken from Darwen, Lancashire to Blackburn. He was again beaten and poked with blades. Every time they screamed at him to know where the money and the substance was, the victim would respond in pained anguish, saying, "You've got the wrong man." The gang eventually knew this, but even so they continued to use their blades and stick it into the victim's chest and legs, as I said. Eventually, once they took his house keys and found out there was nothing there, they abandoned the victim and the car, not caring if he lived or died. Now thankfully, somehow, miraculously, the victim managed to contact. An ambulance and police were dispatched to the scene. The victim was stabbed 14 times and suffered a collapsed lung, and the attack lasted long over an hour. Now the three men were arrested and they pleaded guilty to the offences in court. Faisal Fareed, 23, from Lawrence Street in Blackburn, was jailed for 11 years for conspiracy to kidnap, affray, assault, conspiracy to supply drugs. Faisal Fareed, who's 26 years old, also from Lawrence Street in Blackburn, was handed a 10-year sentence, where Nicholas Shaw, who's 45, from Medina Close, Accrington, was jailed for 6 years. And again, they've got no excuse for doing what they did, only because they wanted to find a come up. Stay safe.